Nigga baby. And like sometimes you know, thought and make value to it. All right, we are back. Late night and hits the franchise Google Real Talk Show Season 4, Episode 5. Next up, we're gonna talk about a lot, man. We haven't really dug through all the teams when it comes down to what they've done in the offseason leading up to where we are right now in Week 9. Week 9 also opens up the ability race, the award race and things like such. So we got a lot to get to, man. So I want to talk to my boy Rasul Rahim Skadines Skabibbles. We're going to talk to him for a second and find out what's been going on around the world of trades. So we got to get there first. You know what I'm talking about? Let's go talk about what Skadines has been seeing when it comes down to what's been going on trade-wise right now. So let's get to it, man. We're going to go all the way down to the bottom and start from the bottom and up. The Ravens have been very active. All right, so at the end of the season, we had a trade with Sheldon Ward, the wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals. The standout wide receiver has been around for a while, man. Seemed like the Cardinals was in rebuild mode and really didn't have him or King James, one of the top tight ends in our league. And they really didn't see him in their plans after the offseason. Once they got into the offseason, they were working out a deal with New England Patriots. And the cool thing about this is that the Cardinals and the Patriots have been in trade talks before. Coming out of last year's offseason, Hicks Israel leaves the Cardinals offense and goes to the New England Patriots, where he wanted to be a part of a system that runs the ball, and where he's super actively being used. He had a great rookie season, and he also had a great playoff run, unmatched right now to this day, where he went crazy in the playoffs as a running back, giving him the second running back in that program to be the playoff running back, best running back in the playoffs. But they go get King James tight end and Sheldon Ward. I think this was a good move. I do like the receivers. We had young Randy Moss, in his prime Randy Moss, starting to become his own last year. He started to step up. Arizona. The New England Patriots did play in the AFC Championship game last year. Now they're not off to a hot start this year, but still a long season. A lot of long season with them. They got some players they got to implement into their system. Where you got Bolin, who's getting up there in age, along with Sheldon Ward. They bring in another veteran. In my opinion, I think it was the right thing to do. That gives them a bunch of receivers that are 6'4" or above right now that they can run with, and I like it. So I like the three receivers they got, and they went and got themselves a really, really big time tight end that can, that's a catching tight end. It's more of a receiver than anything else. And King James. I think both of those players getting into New England system could really help them for the next two seasons. They got a small window. They are up there in age. They got a small window, but to bring that veteranship, to me, it's the Belichick way. This is the way they move in real life. These guys, they get veterans to come in and plug and play, and they get those type of players that can come withstand what the Patriots are about. It's the Patriots way. So I like it. In the process, the Patriots sent the 2032 round 3 pick, the 2033 round 4 pick, and they sent both of those to the Arizona Cardinals for those two players. So I like the move. What about you, Hitter? You think that's a good move for them?
Yeah, definitely. All you gotta do is throw the ball.
Yes, sir. I mean, he brought in two really, really good receivers in that offense that's trying to get better as a passing offense. And they were doing a good job already with Bolin and with Randy Moss Jr. already. So I think they bring these two in the fold, more veteran presence. This can play dividends for them in the playoffs. When it gets down to the playoffs and they need reliable players to make plays for them, I think they have guys that have that experience to be able to do so. We saw another trade, Ray Wills, quarterback. They used to be the starting quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders, who came in the same year as DT, Dan Thomas, Allen Iverson. They all came in, Mike Webb, those guys all came in the same draft class. And Ray Wills was pretty solid over there in their offense, but they went and got Derek King the year before. And they went with Derek King over Ray Wills. Ray Wills, super talented quarterback, just sitting, looking for a team and just waiting to go. He had some little controversy going on about some things that we shall talk about later on the reason why he was benched. It was almost in the same light of Deshaun Watson sitting over there in Las Vegas. Some situations with some during a gambling night in Vegas, that put him in the situation. But the ruling came back that he was good. It was a BS charge. He got out of it. And he went to the Bucks. The pipeline. The owners of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Las Vegas Raiders, pipeline of brothers. So they're both hanging their hats in the NFL, and they sent their quarterback to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now let's talk about this for a second. In return, the Bucks traded right in Joshua Stewart to the Raiders. They also traded left tackle James Davis. The Bucks also sent the third round pick, 2032 pick in that trade. I like the trade. I think they gave up, adequate adequate depth. I think they brought starters in. The Raiders offense wants to run the football. And the one thing they have committed to is the offensive line. So I think they are building a really stout offensive line over there. Hitty, you just came out of a game with them. That offensive line pretty solid when it comes down to running the ball.
Yeah. They hold blocks pretty well. Letting the running back get to the next level.
Yeah, I like what they're doing over there in Las Vegas. They're doing some big things now. Jerry Bradshaw, in the last 2 seasons, man, this guy's been a three-peater in the Super Bowl quarterback, man. He's played a big part in those Super Bowls. It's not like he turned around and handed the ball off 50 times a game. He was vital in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers' success on three-peating. He's getting up there in age, about to be 30 years old, if not 30 already. Some would say, damn, Bradshaw was really, really playing his best football. And they trade for another quarterback, bringing a younger quarterback, a different style quarterback, too, more of a dual threat quarterback. And they bring him in the fold. I like this move, and here's why. I think, you won 3 Super Bowls. If there's any time to start making changes, it's now. You know what I mean? Like, you won 3. There's nothing else there for you to prove besides, retooling and resetting and trying to make another run. And I don't think it's, too much of a change, at that team is well put together. That team is legit. They can carry that team can be carried, even if the quarterback has to take some time to get adequate to what he's trying to do over there. But it gives them a dimension that they didn't have, which is a running quarterback, a guy that this team. The way they groomed their quarterback from Tom Brady on to Jerry Bradshaw, they don't throw a lot of interceptions. They throw the ball away. They live to fight another down. I think he extends plays now. I think with his legs, he can, instead of the ball being thrown away, he can get you the 8 yards you need or the 4 yards you need, 6 yards you need, with the speed to be able to do so. I like the move. I don't think it's going to take too much for him to get, up to speed on what they do over there. I think that they don't have to really change much. They can plug and play. Do you feel as though them bringing the dual threat in, they have to change how they play in the game offensively, or can they just stick to what they've been doing already?
And I just give them a new dimension to work with.
Well, I love this trade too. I'm not mad at this trade at all because I like the fact that the Raiders got better. They definitely needed a pass rusher. I think Joshua Stewart was sitting on the bench over there waiting for his time to play. This is a good piece for them because he becomes the Raiders. He could be a starter right away, and then James Davis comes in as a starter ASAP. For them to be able to run that football and play the offensive guy. So I like what the Raiders did. They also traded with the Baltimore Ravens, and they sent the number 6 pick, number 5 overall pick, Kevin Coleman, Jackson State. Kevin Coleman, the wide receiver, the punt return specialist, kick return specialist, slot receiver. They sent him to Baltimore. And the Baltimore return sent tight end Kamor Gamble from Florida and wide receiver from TCU, Quentin Johnston. Ravens also sent a 2032 round 3 pick. So they got 2 players in the draft pick for a top 10 pick. Hit it. This is just the Baltimore Ravens going after a player that they thought they would be able to get in the second round. Didn't have him graded as a top 10 pick. And the Raiders still with the Al Davis syndrome. Speed, baby. All we want is speed, baby. Picked him up. And then, they saw, is this a plus to the Ravens going to go get a player they want? Or is this better for the Raiders bringing in starters and draft picks to continue to build their team?
I think it's a win-win for both teams. Baltimore going to get the player that they wanted, and the Raiders making their team better through veterans.
Yeah. And you got and the Raiders trade, Raider and Ravens trade, they got 2 young players. Like they didn't get, players that's 26 or older. They got guys that's, Kamora Gamble comes from the second draft class, and then Quentin Johnson just was drafted a year ago. So they got young guys that can come right in and plug and play. They got complete speed out of both these two. That's what the Raiders want. They want speed. So they traded one fast ass player to get 2. In the building. They don't lose much. I mean, you think about it. Kevin Coleman, 97 speed, 97 excel. This guy's a 4.2 guy. But Quentin Johnson is exactly that too, 97. But the difference is he's 6'5". I think that's a win for the Raiders as far as, getting that. So they do need a number 1 receiver over there. I'll ask you, playing them just a little earlier, was Quentin involved in their offense in the passing game?
No, it was mostly the running back.
Well, they got to find a way to use this weapon. Kamora Gamble comes over there, and he's their fastest tight end in the building. I don't know if he's their best tight end, but he's definitely the fastest tight end for us. So they can literally put that scheme together and do some things, in my opinion, that can change their fortune over there. They're not playing bad at all this year. They're putting pieces together. They're surrounding their quarterback with the type of pieces they need as far as offensive line and weapons. And then they also get draft picks, so they can tear the draft up as well. So the Raiders are moving. They're doing a lot of moving, man. I like what they've done so far. 2 big trades. Now, you continue to go up the ladder of trades, and you look at week 3, and we're seeing Falcons trade running back. Second round, pick 4, running back, Bijan Robinson to the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens trade running back E.J. Smith to the Falcons. They also trade wide receiver, one of the top wide receivers in the league, and Tion Pitts to the Falcons as well in this trade. They also sent a right tackle, Howie Montgomery, to the Falcons as well. So the Falcons got a 3-for-1 deal. They got a very young but experienced Tion Pitts at the wide receiver level, in my opinion, puts them in a great situation. They also come back with a great running back, Bloodline, Emmitt Smith's son, E.J. Smith. He's a superstar. He should be, adequate for what they're trying to do over there. I think they wanted more of a receiving running back when they had Bijan. They took this team over. Bijan never really came off the shelf. He redshirted as a rookie, and for the life of us, nobody can understand how the best running back in that draft didn't touch the field at all for the Atlanta Falcons in his first year as a Falcon. And then, with the new regime change coming in with, when that team was 0-7, they did get Bijan somewhere close to like 800 yards rushing, but he did a lot of big things for them as a receiver. Now, he is good catching the ball out the backfield, but he's not better than E.J. Smith. E.J.'s a tweener who can play slot receiver or running back for this team at any moment. So I like what they're doing over there. What do you feel as though they spoke highly about getting linemen coming in this offseason? And I think they did that. They addressed the offensive line. They took their first pick and went line. They traded for a couple. They got one from the Giants, one from the Ravens. They picked up some too in the draft. Are the Falcons heading in the direction that they would like to head in?
Yeah. It's weapons before protection, or if you do get weapons, make sure you get the protection to go with it. So he already had the weapons, so he needed the protection.
And I like them bringing in Tion because they fell in love with Roderick Smith, but he's up there in age. He's 28 years old. So they needed a guy that can come in and grow with this offense, and they bring in the Tion Pitts, 25-year-old Tion Pitts, who comes in and he can play receiver for them. And in fact, if we look at stats right now, he's up there in the stats and touchdowns and receiving yards right now as a Falcon. He started to have a good season early on with the Ravens, but he went all the way up, turned up when he got to the Falcons. 3-for-1. I mean, the Ravens seem like they unloading players right now, man. Do you feel like they're
Fire
killing their
sale.
death? Fire sale, right? They 3-for-1s, man. This is how you do it. They go get what they want. When they want to go get what they want, they give up what they got to give up. They give up. Some say they give up more than most people will give them credit for. Like they fight a lot to be in the draft and get in the top 10, the top fives. And the things they give up is the standard of the league. Honestly, you want to get down to the top 5 picks and things like that. You look at how the Ravens did and send them players if you want that player. It seems like they've been doing that for a while now. No hitter, where it's like they want that player. So they continue to get rid of players to get that player. But to be able to do that, you have to be able to build depth. So I like this trade. Now, let's talk about B. John Robinson. Jamar Gibbs is already there. They traded after the draft for Noah King. They still have Casey Fields there. They traded J.C. Fields to the Jets, and he's leading the league in rushing yards right now. But they bring B. John Robinson in. Is this a move for them to bring in a big back with the type of athleticness to be able to kind of move on from Casey Fields, getting up there in age? Like, why does this
Definitely.
make sense for the Ravens?
It gives you all type of running backs in your running back room. You had the pick of the litter. You go into any game with any kind of game plan because you got all versatile type running backs.
Mm-hmm. The Ravens, they're 3 deep in the backfield. Young rookie Noah Kane that they were big time in conversation. Talking about how he'll redshirt this year. They don't expect much out of him this year. And the 1-2 punch, really 1-2-3 punch. Casey Fields still in the mix. Although he's up there in age, he's still a productive running back that can still be one of the top running backs in the league right now. With the old and with the old, I mean, out with the old and with the new. We still got some backs in this league that came in during that Casey Fields draft. That still, we got to talk about too. That's still playing at a high level right now. I don't think they're saying Casey Fields can't still be their bell cow. I think they're just trying to move on from him. They're really hyped about B. John Robinson, so I think this was the trade that they was looking for. They don't think they'll find another running back. They send punt returner, kick returner, running back Ethan Anderson to the Texans, and return the Texans send them a 2032 4th-round pick. The Ravens are super active right now, and in this trade, they sent up their Pro Bowl punt returner, kick returner to the Texans. Texans needed a backup running back. If their running back Spring's getting up there in age, if he can come in and play running back, although he didn't play running back for us, really never got carried. He was more of a punt return, kick return. I think this is a great move for the Texans. That was a smart move. They lost their big time backup running back. They lost him in free agency. So they had to go replace that, and they did exactly that with Ethan Anderson. He can also cut in the carries. Right now, it's the spring show. I don't think they're worried about really having a number 2 the cut-ins carries right now. So I think he'll still play punt returner, kick returner, and a little bit third down running back for the Texans. But this is a future move for the Texans, bringing in a superstar running back that can carry the torch. But the Ravens and getting rid of him, they trade 2 running backs to get 1 back, so they still got 4 on their depth chart. But this is just to clean up. When you bring in a Kevin Coleman, you expected him to be your punt returner, kick returner. They had to, they kind of saw Ethan Anderson falling to the side. So the move was they got Kevin Coleman, who definitely will be their punt returner, kick returner. They also traded for B. John Robinson. They sent E.J. Smith and Ethan Anderson off to be able to, clean the room up, not be too overloaded in those positions. Now the next trade from the Baltimore Ravens they go back to Atlanta and they trade for starting quarterback C.J. Stroud. And it was a quarterback swap. Backup quarterback Jaden Daniels goes to the Falcons. C.J. Stroud goes to the Baltimore Ravens, and he goes to a team where he's not a starting quarterback anymore. He was the best quarterback in his draft class. He was the number 1 quarterback in that draft to being a backup. Is this a little confusing to you, or could you understand why the Falcons and the Ravens made this trade?
Well, it's kind of confusing to me.
This was a talk you into it trade. This was where we at with the team and what we're trying to do, Falcons wise. What we're trying to do right now, we need a guy that has a little bit more speed. C.J. Stroud can be a dual threat quarterback, but he's not. He's not in the 90s, and he's not a 4-5 guy, 4-6 type of guy. The Falcons just wanted to be faster at the quarterback position. As they're building that offensive line, they need a guy that can, escape, create. And Jaden Daniels is a 4-5 guy with 91 speed, 91 excel. So you upgraded their speed. You're not really losing too much. You got a young quarterback that came out in the same draft class that should have been somewhere starting, in my opinion. But Jaden Daniels sat the bench and he developed under Allen Iverson. So in my opinion, the Falcons were just looking for a faster quarterback. They wanted a dual threat quarterback, a guy that can escape and get away. And the Ravens get a serviceable backup as of right now. Obviously, C.J. Stroud is not a quarterback that wants to be on the bench. So we could possibly see a future trade going forward. But if, God forbid anything happens to Allen Iverson, they will have a serviceable backup quarterback as a starter in this league, who played really well last year for the Falcons. They also send a 6th-round pick in the future 4th to be able to bring in bring in C.J. Stroud as a backup. So I think they're really strong at the quarterback position. If something was to happen to Anthony Iverson, C.J. Stroud can come right in and pick up his offense. Spend a couple of weeks learning the playbook, and we should see how that goes. Randy Cunningham Jr. goes to the Titans. The Titans trade free safety Xavier Alford, and the Titans also trade a 3rd-round pick to the Vikings. The Vikings, they're starting Evan Pryor right now. That came out of the same class as C.J. Stroud and Jaden Daniels. In my opinion, I like the trade. I think Trevor Lawrence getting up there in age. Titans get younger at quarterback. They get a good quarterback. Bloodline, Randall Cunningham's son. They get him. He's a dual threat quarterback with a rifle of an arm. They get rid of a safety and they give up a draft pick for it. I like it. I think the Vikings have to make their team theirs, make it their own identity. They're starting to do away with some of those pieces that was there already and bringing in new pieces. So they're going to continue their development as they try to turn things around over there in the NFC North. But the Titans get themselves a quarterback that can take them into the future. How do you feel about this trade?
Who is it again?
Randy Cunningham Jr. So Trevor Lawrence is 30-plus years old right now. They go and get a younger starting capable quarterback. Tennessee Titans.
Yeah. You definitely want to. Well, quarterbacks don't decline, so.
Now they don't.
I mean, as far as the traits,
Yeah, I can see them move on though. I can see why they're moving on from Trevor Lawrence. The Trevor Lawrence experience just didn't work in Tennessee. Jaguars sent him on. He got traded from the Eagles as a backup, becomes a starter again, and it really just never really panned out to what the Titans is looking for. And I could say this: the Titans is building a really good roster over there right now. They have a mix of veterans and young youth that's over there. So to me, they didn't lose much to get that type of quarterback in the building. And if he can fit their scheme and they can figure out what they actually want to do scheme wise, I think this Titans team can fight for their division for sure. Week 9 hit it. When it's week 9, the award stuff starts to pop back up. But before we get there, we're going to go into the standings and see where we at right now. As far as the standings, the BCS we call it, our top 10. And here we go. Let's get into it. Hitter. Who's our number 1 team in the league right now as far as rankings, man? Who we have sitting here chilling with the number 1 spit out? Like, hold up, wait a minute, play that game. Giants is in it. Giants are sitting at 8-0. We have still three undefeated teams in the league right now. So we're dealing with the New York Giants, 8-0. At number 2, the Houston Texans are sitting at 7-0. And the Arizona Cardinals at 8-0. In my opinion, their strength of schedule should have them number 1 right now, man. They beat the Ravens, knocked them from being undefeated, and stopped the Bucs from being undefeated as well. The Cardinals playing good football right now with their young quarterback, Nico. They're not doing bad right now. See if the Cardinals all the way back. Seems like they're playing really good football. The Giants quietly are sitting at 8-0, and it's quiet. And with the Houston Texans, man, now this coach is in his 3rd year as the coach over there, and you're starting to see it take its course now. it looks like he is making a statement this year and telling that AFC South that, I told y'all this was my division, and we're kind of getting to it. At 4, you got the Denver Broncos back in the mix. Coach Jimbo over there with Shador Sanders, Shiloh Sanders, Justin Flo. They're getting it together. And they made a power move to get a big back. They got rid of speed back from Notre Dame and Chris Tyree. And they traded for a bigger back, 220. Same type of ability, good speed and everything. So the Broncos are back in the mix. They're doing the things they want to do. It took a couple seasons to get it together. Now they feel like they got some of the pieces of the puzzle to be able to move forward. Team 7-1 right now. The next one-loss team is the Baltimore Ravens, sitting at 7-1. At 5 right now. And the Ravens are up and down. They had a really, really bad output against the Cardinals. Now they've been strong against the run for the last 2 years, and they got gashed for over 290 yards rushing against the Cardinals. And yeah, they got to get back on track right now. Buccaneers sitting at 6-1 as well. With quarterback Ray Will had getting his first loss against the Cardinals. At 7, the Packers are 6-2. Their big win was over the Denver Broncos. The Falcons are back in the mix, 5-2 right now too. And then you have the Browns at number 9, 5-3, along with the Hoodie brand coached Bills at 5-3 as well. Now, when you look at the next 5, Panthers are 5-3. Patriots are 4-3. Patriots were just on suicide watch. They get a big win over the Dolphins, giving them a game over 500, puts them back in the mix, 4-3. Raiders are sitting at 5-3. It looks like all the things they've been doing off season and during the season are starting to pay off. And then there's the Cowboys at 4-4, along with my team that I like the most right now. And they had a fucking hell of an off season 2 years in a row, quietly 2 years in a row. But last season, after the last draft, the Jets was one of the top teams winning in that draft. Would you agree?
Yeah, Jets was definitely one of the winners in the draft.
Yes, sir. They definitely was. And you see it paying off. They're on a three-game winning streak right now, and they're playing good football. How about this? New York Jets, Arch Manning is in New York. His uncle Eli played in New York. Peyton played in Indianapolis and then Denver. So Archie's in New York. He's gonna ask for a bigger marketplace for Archie to be in. And when most people probably thought he would be in a graveyard spot, has his team winning ball games, doing something that they haven't done in a while, which is they're at 500. Now they got a big ass game tonight against the Baltimore Ravens. It's a huge game for them. This is the next step for them. They better take that next step. They want to come out and show that they can dance with the Ravens and possibly come out there and shock the world and win that ball game. At 16, the Philadelphia Eagles are 4-4, and the reason I bring them up is because they are tied with the Jets and the Cowboys. So at any moment, those guys can switch. When it comes down to the divisions, I won't spend long on it. We'll just talk about who's leading the division right now. Ravens have a 2-game lead over the Browns. AFC South, the Texans have a 4-game lead over the Jaguars. AFC East is a tie right now. Buffalo Bills and New England Patriots are at 4, both of them 3 losses. And they split. No. The Patriots beat the Bills this year early on. So, this division is really tight right now. When you look at all 14, they're all in position right now, early on. In the AFC West, it looks like the Broncos is right back at it with the Raiders with 3 losses right now. The Chiefs won the division last year, but they're playing a first place schedule, which has them 2-6, and the Chargers sitting at 2-5. In the North, you're looking at 6-2 Packers, the Bears 3-4. Lions and Vikings still trying to put some things together over there. When you look at the NFC South, the Bucks have a 1-game lead over the Falcons, and the Falcons have a 1-game lead over the Panthers. The Panthers have a 1-game lead over the Saints. So they're all neck to neck right now. And this is a good sight to see right now that the NFC South is playing really good football, and they all like right next to each other. And are we seeing some a power struggle over here a little bit, hitter? With the Falcons stepping up a little bit and got the Panthers and the Saints all playing good football.
Still the Bucks, still the team to beat. Till you beat them, they're the man over there.
Yes, sir. NFC East, here we go. Giants 8-0. Giants live on the top of this division. They've been there for a long time with the 4-4 Cowboys, 4-4 Eagles, and a 2-7 football team. Hitter, what happens when y'all end the year great game in a wild card game? A couple of bad plays down the stretch, lost that game. But you showed that you was a really big tough matchup for the Cardinals. Like some teams just match up with each other. And you've always had a good output when you should line up against those Cardinals. But then you get into the offseason, have hell of a trade to get you down to the fourth and bring in a dog as a receiver, probably the best receiver in the draft. And you come in with high hopes. Your quarterback's been playing well, and you start the season off three straight losses in a row. And in those situations, how do you handle it as a team? Because you have the team, and things aren't just going your way right now. So what do you do to talk? What's the talk to your team in the locker room right now?
You try to figure out what's going on. Word on the street is that Sims has a drug problem, and
I
he's
heard the
been
same
trying
thing.
to hide.
I
Yeah, he's
heard the
been
same
trying to
thing.
hide it, and it's really been
It,
affecting his play. He doesn't come to practice, and in the games he's spaced out. So we're gonna have to check him into rehab.
yeah, and the whole thing was, man, like, and this happens, man. Getting sacked, injuries. He started fumbling the ball a lot. He hasn't really had a good focus, and me personally, this is going to be a bigger story that Skadime's going to have to get into a little later. But the gist of the story is, he's been nursing the injury all last year, and to be able to continue to play on that injury, he's been getting shots and pain pills, man. And, I think he has the issue is there, and you guys stepped in front of this before it became a big blow up. Now, is the rehab process going to happen during the season, or is this going to be something that happens right away on some Brett Favre shit, or y'all going to let him finish the season and work
Uh,
it all
he,
work
he
it out in the summer?
he's in an outpatient program during the week, 3 times a week. And it's like a step ladder. It's 3 weeks. 3 days a week. Then it's 2 days a week, and then it works its way down to one day a week for the
All
rest of
right.
the season.
Well, Roger Goodell was big on saying that, during the summertime he's going to have to go into an inpatient and for him not to sit out games and be suspended because they think this is more, the injury thing that can happen. The team doctors. I heard the team doctor got fired. He over prescribed him in the situation, and it kind of spiraled into that. Um, how much of the blame do you put on your team doctor?
You can't really. It's just family genetics. He come from a family of drug users, so
His
you know.
16-year-old brother was killed 3 years ago, selling drugs. Not to say it as harsh as that, but he got caught up in a drug bust. The feds, she shot it out with the feds, so we speak. And his mom been a crackhead for 35 years. His dad been a crackhead for 38 years. Um, he was raised by his grandma, and his grandma was a motherfucking drug dealer damn self. She sold weed. She's doing 15 years in the feds right now as well. I mean, how do you keep a guy like that on track, man? I mean, it's just the whole family
It's
with
it's
this, and he's been the
it's
bright
yeah,
spot
it's
of it.
hard.
I mean, how do you keep a guy like that? I mean, my grandmom's in jail, man. She's more gangster than the dad and the mom. How do you take? I mean, like, how do you get this guy? I mean, are you putting in a safety net for him to be able to walk him because he was having a great couple seasons as a starter. I mean, he comes in his rookie year, plays outstanding. Plays last year outstanding, and then this comes out. You know what I mean? So how do you protect him going forward?
You sit down and you have a long talk with him. Don't try to be his mother or his father. Try to be his big brother, and just coach him and see where he's coming from. And ask him what's really going on. Deep down issues. That type of thing.
I mean, this is not unfamiliar territory for an NFL player. The Las Vegas Raiders had to deal with it with their all-star tight end. He overcame it. So, good luck to him. We all praying for him, hoping that he can get his shit together right now. But like, when did you realize that, all right, something ain't right with him? Was it somebody that came to you and
Uh,
told you, or you just saw it? Like how did y'all as a staff figure out what was
uh,
going on with Jim Jefferson?
we got a little in-house drug treatment program going on, and he failed the test. And from there, we just been monitoring it, trying to keep it under wraps. But when a player declines the way he has, it's bound to get out. It's noticeable.
Now, you guys were in Las Vegas for a game, correct?
Yeah.
Now, how do you?
No, that was a home game. He came to us.
Oh, they can't y'all. Vegas can't
Yeah.
y'all. All right. All right. I was gonna say because you was in, you in the city that don't sleep. How did you manage that? But okay, so he was in Washington. All right. Well, as you can see, the NFC East, man, Giants sitting at 8-0, 4-4 Cowboys, 4-4 Eagles, and the Jeff Sims list football team is struggling right now at 2-7 right now. And the last division is the West NFC. So the 49ers have 3 wins, 4 losses. The Seahawks are 3-5. They're on a 2-game losing streak. And the Rams are sitting at 0-9. I like what the Rams did all season wise. I think they're team wise, they're moving into the right direction. I do notice the coach is over there. He is, through the struggles, you couldn't ask for a better coach to want to play for. The team loves their coach. They want to go to war for him. They all upset. They want to win some ball games for him. Um, but they're working their ass off to get to that. I think the Rams got better football coming to them. The way they built this roster, they're in a good situation right now, in my opinion. And they just gotta let the team grow because they are young. They gotta let that team grow and become one team, one unity, one heartbeat. And when that happens, and the play calling and they get everything on track, I think the Rams are going to surprise a lot of teams. When they line up with them. We played them this year. We thought that they had a nice little scheme offensively. I think if they build off of that, they're going to be in a good situation. But that's your divisions right now. That look like the Cardinals, are 4-game lead. I don't really see how. A lot of football left, but I don't see how they can lose it. Winning this division. All right, let's get to the awards. The last thing we're gonna talk about. We're gonna get to the awards real fast. Listen up. Finishing show. 15 minutes. All right. Week 9 awards pop up, man. So let's see who's doing what right now, when, where, and how. We get over there and see what's going on in the awards show. Stats and awards. Let's talk about who's fighting for yearly awards right now. Let's talk about it. So the MVP race looked like the last year's MVP guy is still in front of things right now with Anthony Iverson at 2, Jawan Springs at 3, B. John Robinson at 4, Jaleel Ruggs in the building. Joey Cummins has become the all-time leading rusher in the NFL with J.C. Fields at 7, balling out as a first-time starter for the Jets. Balling. Funny thing is, he travels to Baltimore to play his old team. You got Darren Thomas Jr. at 8 and Ray Wills at 9 with Kentrell Gauld in the third for the Bengals. The running back over there at 10. That's your MVP race. All right, the AFC, you got Bass, Iverson, B. John Robinson, Springs, and J.C. Fields are your top 5 in the AFC. Offensive Player of the Year. Joey Cummins is 1. Jaleel Ruggs, you got DT, Ray Wills, and then Bryce Young are your top 5 with Young Diaper Dandy. Nico sitting at 6 right now, pushing the envelope. All right, Defensive Player of the Year in the NFC. You're looking at Big Von Burley, the safety. You got Sony Styles, the Diaper Dandy, is at number 2. Avante Williams, drafted last year. The Panthers told me at the end of the year last year that this guy would be a problem, and he's looking like he's exactly that right now. Manny Montana, the linebacker, at 4, and then you got Rasheem Graham, linebacker, turnstone safety, sitting at 5. AFC Defensive Players of the Year are as follows: Roshan Lyons at 1. You got Lance Norman balling at the cornerback position, Malachi Moore from the safety position. You got Trent McDuffie, another Raider, sitting at 4. And then when we go to 5, Christian Harris, Alabama linebacker for New York Jets, is sitting at 5 right now. When you look at the Offensive Rookie of the Year right now, Chad Johnson Jr. in the AFC at 1 right now. Mike balling with the Johnson, Ocho's little son. Evan Pryor, the speed demon, the fastest running back come out the draft this year for the Buffalo Bills, is balling. You got Christian Larry, man, a receiver that barely really played for Alabama. They had so many weapons over there. Finally got his shot. He got drafted, and the Bengals are playing pretty well with another diaper dandy. Johnny Wilson, the 6'7" freak from Florida State, at 4 right now. And then you got Ja'Cory, another Alabama player for the Bengals right now at receiver. Ja'Cory Brooks are your top 5 right now. When we look at the Diaper Dandies, we always talk about the top 10. So you're going to come down to LV Bonkley Shelton. You got Kevin Fields. You got Arch Manning at 8. Jake Briningstore, the tight end, at 9. And then Quincy Nix. Don't know what position he plays at all. The fuck? Is he even a real draft
Who,
player? I know all the
who's
real
that
draft
guy?
players. Who
Who
is
is
that
that
guy?
guy?
Right. All right, so let's go look at the NFC and look at their offensive rookie of the year. So Nico, how you say it?
Ilma something like that.
Ilamaleva. So we're gonna call what we call it. What was the song we did? Oh. In the air right Nelly there every night. All right, Evan Stewart, man, could also possibly be the best receiver in that draft class. Evan Stewart was the number 3 receiver on the board. You got Armani Goodwin, a sleeper running back, speed demon that nobody expected to be sitting here at 3, but he's balling for the Saints right now. And then you got Luther Burden, man, the number 2 receiver in the draft. Big time Missouri receiver, this kid, from St. Louis. He's been balling his ass off for Washington. He just came out of a 3-game touchdown performance. He's balling out right now at 5. Quinn Ewers for the Lions is sitting at 5. You got tight end Maliki Matava over there playing for the Cardinals when they still have Eric Gilbert over there. So they got 2 tight ends that's dual threat receivers that can play any, fullbacks, all types of receivers. They got some weapons over there. Demond Demas, man, sleeper receiver. The reason why is because he started his career at Texas A&M. He transferred out, had a little bit of legal troubles going on over there. He transferred out to Jackson State, and he finished his career with Deion, and now he is Ram, and I think this gives them a number 1 receiver over there. Jalen Milroy, the dual threat quarterback, the fastest quarterback in the draft. Panthers, he comes right in, day 1 starter, got his team at 5-3, playing really good football. Trevante Rucker, another Jackson State wide receiver, sitting for the Vikings, looking like he's taking over that room. And then you got Roe Brinson, another Miami player. Those Panthers are connected with the Miami team, man. They love getting players from the College of Miami. All right, University of Miami. Now, that's the NFC diaper dandies on offense. Let's talk about the diaper dandies on defense. Sonny Styles, man. Sonny Styles can play corner, linebacker. I mean, this is Isaiah Simmons all over again. He can literally play any position you want in the defense. And Ohio State used him exactly that way, where Clemson used Isaiah Simmons and have him lined up outside linebacker, rushing off the edge, pretty much a stand-up defensive end, 3-4 type of DN. Also plays linebacker, also can play safety, and also can play some corner. And he's playing. They give them another weapon like that. The Cowboys kind of made that famous with Solo Savage, being able to move a corner to sub package from free safety, and being able to match up. I have some situations right there. I like that. Now the Rams bring in Kendall Daniels, another sub package type of linebacker, safety, who can play in the box if they need him to. Balling out at number 2. Then you got Rod Dilworth, the fastest linebacker in the draft. He goes to Atlanta, and you give him a user of this type of speed, 95 excel at the middle linebacker. Will be a problem. When you come hometown heroes, you start talking about the hometown players, New Jersey, Elijah Clark balling out for the Saints right now, and you got another Camden guy stand up, Corey Palmer, Camden High to the University of Temple, and now he's in New Orleans Saints playing at a high level. Safety, Donovan McMillan for the 49ers is balling out. You got another safety, Derek Davis Jr. from LSU. Then you go Amari Harvey, another safety. Was linked with Florida State right now. Hitter, you had him last year, World Draft. You got him again. What does he bring to the table?
It gives me another Honey Mayo type safety. Speed and size. He's undersized, but he got a big heart.
Right. He can make plays, man. For him to be, 5'11", the kid makes plays like he's 6'3". And then, like you said, he's a tackling machine. You would think he'd be more of a cover guy, but he can do all of it. He can cover, he can play, he's a big hitter, he can do it all. You got defensive end. Now, the Bears lost their defensive end, just not be. They might be the most absent-minded program in the league, where they just don't do shit right, but they make up for it. They lost their pass rusher when they brought in when they lost I'm sorry, what's the defensive fucking the outside linebacker they had over there that's now playing for the Chargers in real life. I always forget his fucking name. And they lost him. They didn't have a pass rush for the first 2 seasons of Real Draft. Game of Thrones. Then they went and they drafted Pat Teller. They lost him to the Falcons in free agency for not signing their players back. But then they bring in Ohio State's defense, the NJT Tumulio, who's a dog, right? So they bring in a guy right now, number 9 on his list. And then the number 1 defense end in the draft, Corey Foreman for the Seahawks, is sitting at 10 right now. So the NFC defensive diaper dandies look pretty solid over there. A lot of DBs on the list too. All right, so we look at the diaper dandies in the AFC. You're looking at there's the number one pick overall, Travis Hunter. He's number one on the list right now. Um, the Ravens said, they're focusing on Travis Hunter as a cornerback this year. Um, they really trying to get it together with this team with him at corner. They're expecting him to carry the torch from Anthony Israel. Walked out of here as the all-time leading interception corner. He's in Tennessee right now, probably still playing as a starter over there. But Travis Hunter, lined up in a great secondary of the Baltimore Ravens with Justin Fields. Justin Fields. I'm sorry. Oh, God, my mind all over the place right now. Derek Stingley, number one overall pick. Travis Hunter, number one overall pick as well. And they still got Steve Israel, who's the number one overall pick in his draft class. So they got three DBs, three corners that were the first overall picks on their roster right now. At one, and Travis is playing pretty good. They were quoted on saying he doesn't look like a rookie at all. But to answer everybody's question, will he be at receiver for Baltimore? Yes, not this year, but next year they will be playing him as some receiver as well. Jonathan Flo, it was a trade alert going up. It looked like Washington was in the move in the push for Jonathan Flo. Somehow that thing got stopped. And, the talks shut down and stopped. What happened in that, man? You was really making a push for Jonathan Flo and looked like it was almost about to be a done deal. What happened?
Yeah, we just couldn't come to terms on the trade.
All right.
These usual
Jonathan
pulls,
Flo.
push and shove.
Jonathan Flo played linebacker in high school, and he was the outside linebacker on the same team as his brother Justin Flo. Went to Oregon, follows his brother to Oregon, but Oregon moved him to free safety. Actually moved him to safety. He plays free and strong for them. This is the weapon for the Broncos, and here's why: because they can move him down at any linebacker position at any moment and have a top tier linebacker. Because if he came out as a linebacker, he would have probably been the top three linebacker in this draft. They moved him to safety. He still was the number two overall pick in this draft, and I think I thought it was a great pick. I thought I understood the pick because you get a tweener, and you give the Broncos a guy that they can finally move around and do some things with, from the safety position or the linebacker position at any position in the linebacker group, right? And then you go to the Dolphins, and they drafted a Camden player last year. They come back and get Duke Chestnut, another Camden native. And I think the Dolphins understood when they were at their best defensively, they had two shutdown corners. They bring in two X factors now. Deuce Chestnut comes in. Wasn't a first round graded corner, but he was one of the sleeper corners in this draft. Comes out X factor. Love it. The Texans has been tearing HBCU players up, and they go get Keyshawn James, who I thought was a sleeper, who is a dog, fast speed, really good defensive end for this team. Size to be able to play D tackle as well. They can move him around on that defensive line. He's sitting there for Hal Perkins, again, one of the top linebackers in this draft. We got some really good linebackers. And when you talk about best linebackers, Hal Perkins got to be mentioned in that conversation along with C.J. Hicks, and Jeremiah Trotter. And this guy right here, Kendrick Blackshire, for the Dolphins. They come back and get him. I think they cleaned their linebacker room up. They're going to be a problem at linebacker now. It's going to give them something they didn't have this entire disc, which is a great linebacker group. All right, Leonard Teller. Another big time defensive end, solid guy. Florida guys go get their Florida guys, and it's that simple. They get themselves a pass rusher when Nick Chubb or Bradley Chubb got up there in age. They needed to replace that. They did exactly that. The Broncos doing a hell of a job replacing and putting the pieces to the puzzle together. Really good job. C.J. Hicks was the number one linebacker in the draft. Flat out, nobody was better than the guy. He was number one. He should have been a top 10 pick. He goes to the Browns. Very much needed. For the Browns as well. I don't think he was a first round pick. I'm not sure. I think there's no way he didn't go in the first round. He just went to the Browns wherever they picked that. I think the Browns was a playoff team at that too. Jeremiah Trotter at 9. The coach are linebacker youth. You haven't seen one draft since Game of Thrones' first draft where the coach haven't drafted a linebacker. That's 12 drafts of linebackers. Where are those guys at? Who knows? But they don't only get Jeremiah Trotter. They got Bishop Gorman's little brother, Sleeper, from out of Michigan State, who's another dog. So they got X Factor and Bloodline and Jeremiah Trotter. His dad played for the Philadelphia Eagles. And then you get Bishop Gorman, whose brother plays for the Patriots right now. Nano drafted him, and then Mike comes back and gets the little brother. Just happens to be a pick where you've just been in the league for so long, you remember names, and they grab a dog superstar. So that's the defensive players, the defensive type of games in the NFC and AFC, as you can see. Now we're going to talk about best position. Anthony Iverson once again is number one. Shador Sanders though, hitter. We expected Shador Sanders to be a dog, right? And he's doing exactly that right now, playing at a high level for the Broncos right now. When you can flip the quarterback position and really, get it up to speed fast the way the Broncos did, that puts them right back in the conversation now. You have to talk about them as a playoff team, but are we ready to talk about a team that can get back to the Super Bowl right now, where they at currently on their roster with Shador playing the way he's playing?
Definitely.
Sure. Now, Jason Butterfield, most thought, I don't know if this is a fan base situation, but I'll tell you this, the Dolphins and young Camden understood what they wanted, understood what they needed, understood what they did. They did not get sidetracked. They allowed themselves to process and develop a player of their liking without, being stared in a different direction themselves. Although there was talks that they were in trade conversations with Ewers over there, 5-star for the Lions. But the Lions are playing him right now, so I doubt he's going anywhere. But Butterfield, man, they get themselves a superstar quarterback. They're working him into a situation now. No, they're 2-5 right now. But the Dolphins are trending up. They're on a situation where they're about to be right back in the mix, in my opinion, because they're putting that roster together. Solid over there. Desmond Ridder is back in the mix at 4. The coach got him playing really well again. At 5, Malik Willis is there for the Bengals. At 6, you got Akil Glass, and we only can go far as 7, Wise Montana for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, the NFC top quarterback, I don't know if we get 10 or not. Darren Thomas is 1. Nico is number 2, the diaper dandy. Dustin Crum, where, we thought Dan Marino Jr. was going to be the new quarterback for the Green Bay Packers when they signed him. And surprise, surprise, Dustin Crum won that job, and he got his team 6-2 right now. Listen, Phillips, Triggerman Harper at Alcorn State is number 4 on this list, and at 5, man, the well-needed prayers, 50 prayers up for Jeff Sims, even though, he's going through the situation. He's still number 5 on this list right now. At 6, 0-9 quarterback Charlie Ward. I mean, DJ Ugalele is over there. Charlie kept him, for not starting. What's that about here? They trade Shador, Shiloh Sanders, really big time safety that they grabbed. They traded him on a cut and trade for DJ Ugalele, and DJ Ugalele is not seeing the field yet. Is this a smart move for them?
A smart move for the Broncos.
Yeah, but I think the Rams have to play DJ Ugalele. You gave up a top 10 pick and Shiloh, and DJ Ugalele is should have been one of the top quarterbacks in that draft class, or he just hasn't. I don't know. Maybe he's seeing what we kind of saw. He was a man in high school, got to Clemson, had a great season when Trevor went down a couple of games, but then when he became a full-time starter, just the offensive line wasn't there yet, and it kind of stunted his growth a little bit as a quarterback. Maybe he's just not ready yet. I just don't see how he's not playing on Charlie Ward Jr.
The Malik Henry effect.
Huh?
The Malik Henry effect.
Yeah. I just don't. I can't figure this one out. But the coach knows what he's doing right now, and he's number 6 on this list right now. Let's get to the running backs. All right, Jaleel Ruggs is back on top. You got Joey Cummings, the all-time leading rusher in our league right now. Isaiah Spiller is making a name for himself. He comes off of a major injury last year going into the playoffs. Walter Payton Jr. still doing what he do. You got Zeus, Zamir White at 5. Journey Brown, man, get familiar with the journey. We will have a story on Journey Brown, man, his journey to the Seattle Seahawks and his journey as one of the top running backs in the league right now. He's balling. Boone Jackson is at 7 right now. But you seem like he was a little disappointed in Boone right now. What's that about?
He's mad at Jeff, so it's like a cancer in the locker room. So it's just the whole locker room is in shambles.
I mean, they've been best friends since Jeff got in the league, man, and Boone was real adamant on, trying to get his boy help. He knew what was going on before everybody else did, but as a true friend, he didn't throw him under the bus at all. But, as a leader of y'all team, he's upset over this. Do you think that is their friendship is kind of ruined right now? And can that hurt your team? One of them got to go, or, this is just something that, they got to get over?
Yeah, it's something that need to work out. They Boom wants to be there for Jeff, but Jeff kind of lied to him and told him he didn't have a problem. And then, Boom discovered it and kind of came to coach about it. And Jeff was mad at Boom for that. So
Oh, so he did snitch.
he didn't snitch. He came to coach and let coach know that,
Well, he told on him. How else you gonna sugarcoat that? He
that's
snitched.
he's not snitching. He
Man, he
letting them
fucking
know.
snitched.
You know what I'm saying? Coach is more of a father figure than a boss.
Gotcha.
So it was that kind of situation.
All right, so you want him to see it that way, but if I'm Jeff Sims, nigga, you snitched. Fuck you go tell on me for, nigga. I could have told him myself and shit. Nah, but I ain't mad at him. He fucking with Boone Jackson's money right now. All right, so Mark Anthony Richards, running back for the Panthers. It seems like they just can give you a running back, and any week they can give you a different running back. That running back can be the guy. They loaded over there at running back. They got different style running backs that can do different things. I think Howard Street's getting up there in age. I like this. I'm not mad at it. They got another power back that they can get busy with. Look, man, Tim Hamlin is back in the mix at 9 for the 49ers. We haven't heard from him in a long time. E.B. Savage. Now, I play E.B. Savage. E.B. Savage is exactly that, a Savage. There hasn't been a Savage in the league that hasn't been great, though. Savage can catch the ball out the backfield at a high level, and he can run the ball in between tackles, and he can get elusive with it. I like this running back for sure. They do got two-headed monsters over there. They got Jackson State's Pickett over there as well. They're your top 10 running backs in the NFC. Like the AFC follows goes as this. Tremaine Bash at 1 right now. Jawan Springs at number 2 right now. B. John Robinson at 3. J.C. Fields at 4. You got Kentrell Gaulden the third at 5. Jalen Hayden. You got Zach Evans. You got Spencer Moss. There's the running back I was talking about that got traded from the Lions to the Broncos, and John Emery Jr. And then you got Zaquandre White, who I think Mike's doing a really good job with transferring the powers over to him as a bell cow over Joey Odayi. Zaquandre White's playing really well football for the Colts right now. And we look at the wide receivers, looking at Anthony Schwartz, the veteran of this group. David Bell had a great rookie year. He's back now. Shador's favorite target right now. Deion Smith, we know he's Butterfield's favorite target. Marvin Harrison Jr. is in the mix at 4 right now, where you see the Broncos got their 2 top receivers up there. Chris Poole, they are loaded at the receiver position. There's not a free agent that was a dog that's not on a Bills team. Bottom line, if it was a dog, he's on a Bills team. They're loaded in their receiver, and they got receivers for days. But Chris Poole has always been a consistent receiver over there, and he's still doing exactly that. Jameson Williams, Fab Five, he's the number 1 receiver from the Fab Five group in Baltimore right now, and then Jackson Smith Njigba stepping up over there for Baltimore to be the slot with Pitts gone. He's the new guy in line right now, balling. We got Jermaine Pierre, Mr. Pierre, old as hell. Rashad Bateman, veteran. These guys are veterans of the league. And then Tyquan, Tyquan Thornton, the speed demon at 6'3" for the 7-0 Texans right now. So he's balling out for them. NFC wide receivers are as follows. Brew McCoy, off his rookie season, he's back. Super Bowl winning Brew McCoy. And this year, he's the number 1 receiver in the NFC at this point. Tion Pitts, I told you, transfer schools, transfer teams, whatever the case may be, and he is balling, stepping into that number 1 receiver role for the Falcons right now. Malachi Widener, who balled out last year as a Viper Dandy, is still back at it again. Bracken's having a good season. I mean, his game 1, 439 yards receiving, 4 touchdowns. Was disrespectful against the Ravens. Pooh Hanna, P. Dot, a name that you might be like, he's been in the league forever. He ain't going nowhere. Rest in peace, Cuzzo. And if you got love for a nigga, you got love for me as the commission, as your boy in the league, man. Rest in peace, my boy Pooh Jersey, man. P. Dot, I love what Max is doing. Appreciate you keep his name going for me, my boy. He balling out right now. He is the Giants' number 1 receiver at this point, where they got younger, traded Isaac Cannon. They let Smith go. They are young over there at that wide receiver number for Bryce Young, and Pooh Hanna is the one guy holding it down. Josh Downs redshirted for 2 seasons, and now the Cardinals are absolutely Got him in the mix balling right now. Roderick Smith getting up there in age, but this was their Falcons #1 receiver last year. I think now Tiana's the #1 guy, with Smith being the #2. They got it. Evan Stewart, diaper dandy on this list, chilling as a diaper dandy on this list. Keelan Stokes, and then you got Donald Driver Jr. So we like the NFC receivers as well. We'll look at the best O line when we talk about the first three: Oates, Klein, and Sean O'Hara. When you're undefeated, your offensive line must be doing a good job for you because they got the top three out of four, out of five. I'm sorry. And the AFC, your offensive line as follows: Ben Grubbs, Patrick Falk. Patrick Falk moved from guard to tackle. Hit as he's getting older in his career. He moved from right guard to right tackle, and he's doing a hell of a job there, man. You think he'll finish his career as a Raven playing tackle, or is this a sign that he won't be on their team after this year?
He'll play center next, long slap.
All right, Devontae White is the #3 offensive lineman on the Texans. With that run game over there, somebody's got to be on this. They got the next two, actually. All right, defensive side of the ball, D linemen are as follows: Bryce Ware, veteran over here for the Broncos. And when you want to build your front seven back up, you do it behind Bryce. Bryce Ware is a baller right now. He's doing the same thing he did with Von Miller, same thing he did with Bradley Chubb, doing the exact same thing with outside linebacker / and Bryce Ware, #1. Desmond Evans is showing y'all that the season wasn't a fluke last year. He balled out last year as a diaper dandy, won that award, had double-digit sacks, he's right back at it again. Ted Saragusa, Black Saragusa, he's, coming down to the end of his career at 29 years old right now, but he's still doing what he do, man. He's the best defensive tackle in the league, and he's still there, still trying to play like that. Sean Price, the ex-Raven for the Chargers right now, where you don't see your DN's little brother, Caught Young. You don't see him up on this list. Sean Price on the flip side. It look like guys are spending too much time trying to stop Caught, and Sean Price is doing this thing right now. Mason Smith, solid D tackle, and Aiden Hutchinson. So they got, the coach defensive line is getting there, especially when you got all them linebackers running around that can play at a high level like that. Of course, your D line should be doing something. But Kayvon Thibodeau, he was the #5 pick overall in his draft class, right? And all he's doing is showing that he's the guy over there for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He is a dog, and before it's all said and done, we're gonna have to figure out which one of these two are the better one. Hutchinson or Thibodeau in that draft class. DeMario Chambers still playing at a high level. Bo Calvert did it good last year, doing it again this year, and Carlton Young is still in the midst of the top 10. NFC defensive linemen are as follows: Jermaine Johnson, Florida State, stand up. Thad Carmichael, old ass, he's still in the league. Pierre Ford. Pat Teller did it well for the Bears. Now he's doing it for the Falcons. Daniel Myers, another defensive lineman for the Falcons, balling. Angelo Falk, been balling out pretty well for you, and he's #6 on this list. Zach Claymore, 7. You got Cameron Thomas, you got Will Laurie, and then just Isaac. So the Eagles got their dogs on the line playing at a high level right now. All right, your linebackers are as follows: Matt Kamanuka, old Giant turned Viking. You got Tom Fox, old Raven turned Packer. Manny Montana at 3. You got Montel Cohen at 4, and then you got Tylon Shazier at 5. 6 is Hampton, Jackson State, Kemp, Justin Flo, Damone Clark, and then Boye Mafe are your top 10. AFC linebackers are as follows: Christian Harris, Speed Demon, Amar Barno. You got Roshan Lyons, Aaron Hans for the Chargers. You got Jack Kaiser for the Bills, Javier Thorpe for the Raiders. Kidd is still around. Presley for the Texans. Aubrey Miller, and then Tyreek Shade. So the Jets got some guys up there, man. They balling. Your DBs are as follow: Lance Norman, #1, Malachi Moore, Trent McDuffie. Then you got Rudy Franklin, along with Jamie Robinson, the safety from Florida State. Lewis Sign, they got him as the player of the week. He's going to be on fire when we play our game tonight. Lennox Castle, the Jamaican. Jalen Bay, Leon O'Neal, and then you got Rush Yeats for the Jaguars. And NFC DBs are as follows: Big Von Burley at 1, Avante Williams at 2, Revis Allen at 3, you got Graham at 4, strong safety, Sony Styles at 5, Marquise Breeston, sub package linebacker at 6, Brad Dawkins back deep, Jason Sehorn, cornerback and the Spike Hill, and then Kendall Daniels. They're your top award guys. Receiver number one. We talked about all the guys. Now let's finish off on who's doing what stat wise right now. Let's just look at it and get to it. I will not talk about the whole top 10 and nothing like that. We're just gonna go through it. And Crum is leading the league with 3,430 yards. Next up is Butterfield. Shador Sanders is number 3. Darren Thomas is 4. Anthony Iverson is 5. We like Ritter being back in the mix. We just don't like the 16 to 20 ratio. Nico at 30 touchdowns, 20 interceptions. Bryce Young at 26 and 9, playing pretty well right now, yards wise. Touchdown makers right now. Let's see, number 1 in the list right now, Anthony Iverson, 36 touchdowns, only 8 picks, 67% on the year. Nico with 30, 20 interceptions. Crum with 29 and 23. Bryce Young 26 and 9. Shador 25 and 15. BT 24 and 14. 24 and 16. CJ Stroud, 24 and 15, and he's not a starter anymore. Ray Wills, 23 and 6, 75%. This is Buccaneers system. Simple as that. The third quarterback that they had in this vote in their in our disc so far, and he's 75%. This is one of the highest percentages we had in a while. 75. We've been seeing guys in the 70s, but 75 right now is solid. We're only 6 interceptions. Balling out. Butterfield 22 and 22, Corral 22 and 22, and Weber 21 and 21. Russian leaders. Who's carrying the ball to the fact that they should be in the ice tub right now? Well, Tremaine Bass with 202 carries. That's not super a lot, but it's still a lot. Golden, J.C. Fields, Joey Cummins, E.B. Savage, Springs are your top carriers right now. How many 1,000-yard backs do we have going into week 9? All right, Tremaine Bass, 1430, 7.1 yards a carry right now. J.C. Fields, 1421. They're right neck to neck right now, 7.6, 8 rushing touchdowns. Jawan Springs, 1189. Shit, I'm home bet. 1189, 7.7, 15 touchdowns. Joey Cummins, the league's leader in rushing yards, all-time league leader. 1,089, 6.1, 13 touchdowns. John Robinson touched the 1,000-yard mark for his first time in his career on 136 carries, 7.8, 13 touchdowns with 1,057. Then you got Galdron, Kendrell Galdron, and the fact that he's doing what he's doing, and I don't think he's still on his abilities. Oh, yes, he is. All right, he's still there, but he got 1,035, 5.49 rushing touchdowns. All right, so your touchdown leaders are as follows. 20 from Bass, 20 from Ruggs, Springs 15, 13 for Cummins, Bijan for 13, Spiller with 11, Richards, Mark Anthony Richards with 11, and then Zamir White with 11, along with Evans and Walter Payton Jr., double-digit guys. Receivers right now. Look at catches right now. We do have a 1,000-yard receiver in the building. Let me find out my boy putting it in right now. Deion Brackens, man, he's sitting with 46 catches. He got 1,000 yards already. You got Deion Smith for the Dolphins on his way to 1,000. After that, there's a drop-off. Fake Sanders, running back, 44 catches, 598. Then you got Pierre with 44 catches. Shockey, J.R. Shockey from the Giants to the Packers, 42 catches. E.B. Savage out the backfield, 42 catches. You got Marvin Harrison Jr. with 41. Luther Burden with 41. How's he playing for you as a receiver, man? Big body, 6'2", 220. Terrell Owens type receiver, man. What does he bring to the table for your football team?
He's playing well above his age right now. We threw him into the fire. He hasn't been burnt.
I like the analogy, man. Between him and Evans, we'll look at it. But we got some young diaper dandies who's the number 1 right now. We don't know. But yards-wise, just take a look at who's doing what. All right, Dean Bracken's the only receiver in 9 weeks that has 1,000 yards right now. Are you impressed with that?
Definitely. 9 weeks in, already 1,000 yards. That's over 100 yards a game.
Yes, sir. And he had his breakout year week 1 against the Baltimore. In that fourth quarter, they went 1-on-1 over there, and he got busy. All right, Boo McCoy with 989. He's on his way to 1,000, along with Deion Smith, along with Marvin Harrison Jr. And then you got Schwartz, Bell, Pierre, and P. Dot. all with 800. Poole and Pitts as well. Let's look at touchdowns real fast. We're looking at 13 for Malachi Wideman. Right behind him is 12 with Tion Pitts. You got JSN, Jackson Smith-Njigba with 11. Jenkins with 11 as well. Boo McCoy with 11. And then you got Jameson Williams, 9. Bell with 9. Schwartz with 9. And Brackens with 9. Obviously, we want to talk about tackles. Most guys are playing their game, so when you look at who's leading the league in tackles right now, you're looking at the kid. Cedric Kidd with 64. You got Rudy McDaniel with the cornerback with 54. Presley with 53. Malachi Moore, Evan Ware, Dean Panfield, Flo, Jonathan at that, Styles at 51, Westbrook at 51 as well, Castle 49. Tackle for losses, who's leading in that department right now, we're looking at 13 for Pierre Ford. You got Jordan Williams as you tackle with 10. There you double-digit guys. Then you got Sony Styles. You know he playing him everywhere. CJ Kitchens with 9 as well. You got Kristen Harris. You got Jermaine Johnson, 8. He balling out right now too. Let's see who's getting some sacks right now. All right, 11.5 from Desmond Evans doing it again. Jermaine Johnson speed booming off that edge, 11. Bryce Ware with 11 as well. You got Kawan Luka with 10, and then Thad Carmichael with 10 as well. Let's make sure we ain't missing nobody. NFC. Nope. Everything. Let's get back to NFL. All right. AntHits right now. Leading that. Let's talk about it. All right. Big Von Burley with 10 picks. Reeves Allen with 8. Avante Williams from the safety position with 8. Then you're looking at Trent McDuffie at corner, 7. Manny Montana, middle linebacker, 7. Graham at strong safety with 7. Lance Norman with 7. Malachi Moore. And then you start to get to your 6s. Deflections, who leading the league in that right now. Bam, 8 from Petey McCoy. Kool-Aid got 7. Malachi Moore 7. You got Travis Gilmore with 7. And then you start to get to your 6s. Forced fumbles. 2 out of Bishop Gorman, and then there's a whole shitload of 2s. He's taking shit back to the crib. In that department. You got 2 from Zach McCown. Kaleem DeLoach, Florida State. Florida State. Lance Norman, JT Wood, and then Arma Barno with 2. All right, there go your awards. There go your stats. There go your everything right now. Big time games lined up to play. Right now, we're ready to be in a battle with the New York Jets, and Arch Manning comes to Baltimore, comes to Charm City to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Other than that, we will holler at you on the flip side of this. You heard? Holla.